myself to watch these director's commentaries. It's like blah, but thinking about doing another one now, and oh, okay, so I'll fine. Sorry, I'm back. But I thought I'd try another director's commentary. Wait, did I have to do that? Or yeah, it is. I love this game, but it's a little disappointing how the director's commentary worked. Yeah, I don't consider this a director's commentary. I consider this like a director's commentary is supposed to be a voiceover during the actual product itself, I think, in my mind. So it's a little disappointing that I wouldn't call it a commentary. It's just like a series of videos. Maybe I'm mistaken though. Let's see. Let me look up the term director's commentary. There it goes. There's a oh no, this is a TV series. Maybe there's an audio commentary is an additional audio track, usually digital, consisting of a lecture or comments by one or more of the speakers, that plays in real time with the video. Yes, he's supposed to play in real time with the video game. Yeah, so that was really disappointing to like download the director's commentary. It's like I can't wait to like play the game and then like be making her walk around and then having like I thought I was gonna be making Max walk around and she'd look at some shoelaces and she'd be like, shoelaces, and the director would be like, I always liked shoelaces, that's why I put this line in or whatever. But instead it's like this where you just read it, watch little documentaries. But it's whatever. It's still something. Still be grateful for what we get. I just think it was a poor choice of name. This is not what a director's commentary is supposed to look like. This is a series of videos from the directors, I guess. Let's play Life is Strange.
Okay, so let's play the game and
yeah, let's play Life is Strange.
Oh, this is more like
the very beginning of the game. I think this is one of
this is director's commentary. Sorry.
Very difficult sequence of the beginning of the production because, this is the first time the player will see what the game looks like and will be inside the story.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So we got a lot of discussion about this one and a lot of discussion about the shots, how we are going to present Mac's character. The important, as this is a video game, is the player to know where he has to go and the link to the end of the game, of course. And
yeah,
it's also to close the loop and begin with this scene. And when you know the end of the game was something we really wanted to have, so we can see all the FX, and we've got one FX artist, very talented, Thomas. Here you can see a lot of his work, all the particles, the tornado.
We took a lot of time to work on this tornado because when you're working on an episodic game, it's important to still hook the player from episode 1. So that's the kind of discussion we had about the rhythm, to when should we put something that has a bit more impact and that feels something that shows the player that there is something bigger. So this introduction was a bit like that. We wanted in Life is Strange the player to always know what Max is knowing and to just be with her. At this moment, Max doesn't know where she is, and
Michelle
the player
Koch,
doesn't know
I forgot the other guy's name. I was trying to read it, but I didn't do it fast enough.
We're back to the high school, and which is one of the most important settings of the game, of course, the high school setting and the Blackwell Academy. High school is something where the player will feel comfortable because he knows it, but the transition from the cliff to there is the twist of having something really different, and that should hook the player to say, oh, it's not just a teen story, there is more to it. And then, of course, we can go much over than that and twist it and change the characters. But it was an interesting starting point creatively.
This kind of introduction is really important because in one sequence with some shots you have to discover all the different characters, the main ones, so you will see of course Jefferson, Kate and Victoria.
And it was quite hard to decide between not showing too much, to not break the idea of the game, to not be too big compared to what the game would be after. There is a lot of themes of big ideas on the game, and of course photography is one of it, because photography is still a way to to look back to the past. It's linked to the theme of rewind and time manipulation and nostalgia. And that's one of the reasons why Max came back to Arcadia Bay to attend this photography class.
I think for the player to be like Max back in this town when she don't know everyone, but you've got to respect the schedule. It's really, as a player, something great to discover. Also, the lighting was really important in this scene to break the cliff ambience by this sunny atmosphere and all this light coming from the windows.
And maybe we decided to.
It's funny that I was just like, oh, this is not a director's commentary. This is not what a director's commentary is supposed to look like. And actually, yeah, this is more like what a director's commentary is supposed to look like. So that's a little embarrassing for me to have jumped to that conclusion and not have read that the second episode said Let's Play in it. Although I still kind of wish that they had found a way to put the audio over the video game itself as you play it. I think that would have been really cool, but maybe that would have been hard to do. I don't know if anybody's done that. I know there's this game where they kind of create the game as a fake director's commentary, but I guess that would be like a lot of work. It'd almost be like making a whole second game with a whole second set of audio.
We have a private high school rather than just a regular high school of course, for the photography course, but it was also to be able to have less students because we wanted the story to be a bit more intimate. We didn't want it to be like this huge high school with so many students. But based on what the player is doing, you can really learn more about them and see that they're actually not just the stereotype and the archetype you would think they are. This is still a perfect example of how episodic is hard, because if you look closely at this poster, there is a mistake on it. It says that the exhibition takes place in the De Young Museum of Art, when actually it's not that in episode 5, it's the Zeitgeist Gallery. We have a really great community, so thank you guys. And people found out this mistake, and yes, it is a mistake. It's when in episode 5 we found out that we couldn't be a museum, it was too big, so it has to be an art gallery, so we changed the name, and yes, there is a mistake like this in episode 1.
How cute I looked yet.
I was about to.
It's kind of interesting they didn't fix the mistake. I think it's fine because it's small enough that it's just like a nice little detail.
We really wanted to have this feeling of being part of a whole high school. So it means a lot of people. It means bullying. It means difficulties when you're a teenager in this kind of world.
Showing the different cliques and different kind of teenager.
I think a lot of players love this introduction. The use of music here is really important. Is as Max feels insecure in this atmosphere, we wanted her to isolate, and the music is a great way of isolate yourself when you just want to be on your own. And so since the beginning of the game, we were working with licensed tracks, licensed music. We test when we testing and prototype some scenes. We put some licensed tracks from artists we love, and Scene Matters one of them. And when we asked Jonathan Morali, who is the lead of Scene Matters, if it's possible to use his music, he's a gamer, so it was really happy to have this new experience, and for us it's just incredible to work with him. And this kind of editing is really difficult to do because you have to choose the important moment in a song and to choose the right images.
Because our writer Jean-Luc has written many scenes built around music. The edit is based on the music. It's not the other way.
The music is really important in the game. It explains a lot about the characters because the choice of the music, the choice of the artist means a lot. For example, Chloe won't listen to the same artist as Max. For the anecdote for this...
See, it feels like, I mean, I would say this is less of a director's commentary now because of the very big skip there. It's sort of like, you know, in the director's commentary, you would not just choose your scenes. I think I don't know. I was just thinking of what a director's commentary would be on a DVD, and so it's sort of a little disappointing that they're not doing like a scene by scene thing. But I guess that'd be a lot.
Guitar part, we asked the lead singer of Scene Matters to take his.
It's not like it's a movie where it's like just 2 hours. It's a video game there. It's like 10 hours or something like that. I really know.
And to play on top of Gonzalez's song in a clumsy way to be
no
would be like Max playing guitar.
Was last night It was
Oh,
Michelle's
weren't you saying Paul was
birthday.
coming over today or yesterday?
No, it's today after Michelle's thing. Yeah.
You mean after Michelle's thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or after
You
Michelle,
know,
whenever
today
that is.
isn't Michelle's birthday.
Right, Saturday. Yeah. That's what I meant. Yeah.
I thought you meant that you guys were doing chess or something.
No.
Yeah,
But it's still
I don't
fine,
mind
right?
whenever he comes over.
Okay, cool. Sorry if I didn't make that clear. I thought.
It's okay. I think I was just reading it and I was at work. And I
All right,
just
cool.
saw Tom and Paul.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry about that. That's a hilarious ending to that. Okay, I don't remember what exactly they said at the end there, but yeah, music's important. Yeah, that was 10 minutes. Should I do another one? I feel weird ending on that note with my roommate.
Okay, so the objective of this scene was to go into the bathroom. I think you can hear the great sound work. Sebastian, the audio lead, has worked a lot on this kind of effects. When you take out your earplug, you can hear more the ambience. And this kind of art is done by our main concept artist. We got like 4 concept artists working on the game. With Edouard, who has made a lot of artwork. He was the one concept artist.
So basically in the beginning we do a lot of documentation, like we do a lot of research. From all those pictures we can find on the internet, every room, every character needs to tell you a story, who they are, what they do.
And just for following the scene, even for the mood when it's still the rhythm of the game. So we wanted this scene in the bathroom to have a really cold and harsher and more contrasty lighting, to be different from the soft and warm lighting from the art class before.
Seeing this scene, there was here one of the mistakes we have done with the game. For example, when Max is tearing apart the Polaroid. In fact, I don't know if you have tried to tear apart a Polaroid, but it's quite impossible.
Yeah, you can. We tried it. You can't do it. It's too strong. It's plastic, and it's impossible to tear it like she does.
But of course, there is a lot of symbolic behind this, and so we decided to keep it, even if it's non-realistic. Maybe it's a bad Polaroid quality, and we can do it. So you can see the butterfly coming in from the window. There's a lot of symbol behind this.
That's funny.
Butterfly, of course, with all the butterfly effects thing, and the fact that
part of her superpower.
Some butterflies on her tattoo, and the
she
color
can tear her
of
own
her hair
photos.
based on the color of the butterfly.
Really something we wanted to hear. The blue butterfly is really, really important, and of course at the end of the game it's much more important.
One of the fans' favorite, and of course a character we really love, Chloe. She's one of the most important characters, because at the end the choice is about her. It was really important to create this character the best way possible, so the player would learn to care more and more about her. But we really wanted her to be not that nice at the beginning, so when she's evolving during the different episodes, and she's getting nicer to Max, people would care even more about her because she changed, and she likes the fact that she changed. If she was the nicest person from the beginning, it wouldn't be, I think, as effective that her going forward and changing toward Max.
Sometimes some players hated Chloe during the first episode, and I think it's not a bad thing, because you can dislike a lot of things about her personality, and after in episode 3, and of course at the beginning of episode 4, there is really something more to this character, and I think it's like having in real life with a friend. There is always some things you don't like, and the relation between Max and Chloe talk about that, and I think it's really interesting to see how the player will learn to like more and more Chloe. And
I think it was one of the biggest challenge of the writing process because we have 5 episodes, we have a limited amount of time, and we need to find the good beats and the good pacing to make those characters evolve.
It's a really intimate story, and it's
Ashley
mostly
Birch,
just centered
Chloe
on
Price.
Just emotional moments.
first
All
game.
of the major choices that you make in the game are emotional. The heart of it is the relationship between Max and Chloe. It gets really dark, and things get really hard for Chloe and really emotional.
In the game, one of our goal was also to be able to talk about real life issues, about some social themes and difficult themes that can be experienced in real life. I mean, it's different to other games where there are bigger issues like situation of life or death or war or stuff like that. And in this game, we wanted really to focus on more human issues on a smaller level.
The mood of the game and the themes of the game. It's the themes that we tackle in the game are not something that you see often in other games. We try to be mature about it. We try not to force it onto players, and we try not to be too brutal about it.
We have issues like domestic violence, family issues.
so talk about drugs, alcoholism,
and
depression.
employment.
It's part of a reality, and I think it was really important for us to not avoid that. And I think it's a great video game is also a great media to talk about that, because as a player you will be involved maybe more than just looking at a movie or reading a book. You will be really part and actor of this experience.
We were not sure that Square Enix, the publisher, would approve all the themes, the intense scenes we have, and how we deal with them. And really early in the discussions, we were relieved to see that they didn't want to change anything. They just wanted to make sure that we deal properly with the scenes or themes, and this is exactly what were our intentions. So.
It's again a key scene for episode 1. It's the first time you see Nathan and Chloe. First scene with the character is really important. We got a lot of information to give to the player. And
we needed to show that Nathan was quite a troubled child, a teenager, I mean. So this is him talking to himself at the beginning. We had to fine-tune and to find the good words to use. Then we see Chloe for the first time. We have to show what's her character, so she's direct and a bit pushy to Nathan. We need still to understand what's happening. So they're talking about money, about drugs. We had to find the right hints to give to explain things. So we don't want to lose the player.
All right. Yeah, let's just get through these so I can say that I've done everything and like played out the game in its entirety. Then I can also delete this off my hard drive so it won't be taking up space. So let's keep moving with these. We'll do at least one more now. Matter of choice.
Nathan Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to himself.
You don't know who the fuck I am or who you're messing around with.
Where'd you get that? What are you doing? Come on, put that thing down!
Don't ever tell me what to do. I'm so sick of people trying to control me!
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
This scene, this is the starting point of Max discovering that she has this weird power, because basically this adrenaline rush and looking at Chloe getting shot, that's how she can trigger that for the first time, and she don't know really why, but that's the seriousness of the situation. Then you'll go back in the art class. So we really tried on this scene to show the deja vu feeling. So the editing and the shots were there to give this weird feeling to the player that, okay, I'm living that again and again, looking at the different moments that the player saw the first time in this scene.
So yeah, for the editing in this sequence, we wanted to keep the same elements, but not necessarily the same shots. You can see that first 3 shots are the same, I think, and after we begin to change a little the point of view, So you understand that there are the same events going on, but just seeing from a different point of view. And
I think, to be perfectly honest, we don't have a good explanation for why she's going back to the art class, because we needed it
I've got one, but I will never tell you.
I don't think it's a mistake, because we also needed to explain to the player so the player can learn how things are working, and it's quite hard to do. So we took this freedom to have Max go back to the art class, which, even if it's a bit contradictory with how her power works after that. We are using this to explore more of Max's personality, of the characters, and because that's the way we created the character.
I'm curious if they know about the crucial flaw that I've discussed. Like, I never minded that that part where she went back in time. I felt like there was just like an emotional aspect to it, where you know, it was the horror of seeing her friend die, but you know, the parts where she doesn't hold on to objects that you'd expect her to hold on to, like the photo she takes of Kate, and then she's not able to keep it if you rewind, and things like that.
We've seen that with what she's thinking. She has a lot of insecurity, she has issues to go forward in her life, to take decisions. And now she has this ability to not going forward, but going even backward. So it's an interesting storytelling device to question with her character and with the player, of course, to question choice and consequences, to question fate, to question really interesting issues.
I think Max would never have changed as much as here in our story without this power and without this sci-fi element. So it puts the player in a very interesting position, because she will ask himself why he's doing some interaction. He can undo the interaction and try something else, but also Max, by doing this, will ask herself, am I doing the right decision? Is it the good choice or not? So we deconstruct the mechanism of classic adventure game just by adding this power and the fact that you can undo things and try another things.
Of course, in most games, you can do it with, you know, quick save, quick load, but it's, like you said, it's only the player who do that, and that's one of the main themes of the games, that if I had the power to rewind and to change things, should I do it? Because sometimes it can be really seen as lying, as if I say a lot of things that you don't like, and if I go back in time and don't say them to try to, so you're not angry at me, it's a bit tricking. So we are really asking those questions, and in the beginning of the game, we are letting the player and Max do it a lot. She's getting to make a lot of friends with this rewind. But later in the game, and especially in episode 5, we are really questioning this to see maybe it wasn't the right thing. Maybe what you did to try to lie to people with your power, was it really good? And that's something that can be interesting for the story, but also to ask the player at a moment.
I think this is what we wanted to do also with this game, to show that it's difficult to make the choice, and it's even more difficult to live with it, but you have to learn to do that.
And even if you could hesitate a lot, there is no perfect way to do things.
Okay, if I'm crazy, I might as well go all the way. Can I actually reverse time?
So that's basically that the first time the player will actively rewind. So we have Max thinking that, okay, I just got back in time. I'm in the art class, and so that's why we made her break her camera, because we needed to have an element that the player will see that we will rewind. So we can really explain how do you rewind. So Max broke her camera, and then she's thinking, okay, if I got back in time, maybe I can try to do it again and revert that. So that's the first real rewind the player is actively doing. It's okay, we don't really want the players to use the rewind all the time, but since it's important in the beginning of the game to really show the player the tools he have, and it was important for us to have this in this scene, to have a lot of use of the rewind, so he can really, okay, I know how it is now, and now I decide if I use it or not.
I hope I have enough time to get to the bathroom. Please, please. I can't tell anybody. They'll think I'm crazy.
Since we are really playing the game with the point of view of Max, for her, not everything is clear, so it shouldn't be clear for the player. But there is a lot of hints that should really guide the players to understand what's happening. We have a lot of symbolism with totem spirit animals. We have the doe, and you can clearly see in episode 4 that the doe is linked to Rachel, and it's basically somehow presence of Rachel that's guiding Max at moments. I'm not sure that a lot of players noticed that, but in episode 2 actually, when you see the dough in the junkyard, it's precisely where Rachel is buried. There is this mystic feeling around the town, and since we didn't want to clearly explain everything, it's part of what makes Arcadia Bay a bit different and a bit special.
I don't think I'm going to do the rest of these after all. I just, I'm not feeling it. It's nice to know that this is here and I can go back to it and watch it sometime if I want, but, yeah, I'm not even sure if I'll put these up. Yeah, I guess I will, since I've done it so far, and then that'll save me some trouble if I ever have an audience that wants me to show the rest of them and my reactions to them, then I can start at number 5 instead of doing all 4 all over again. So yeah, this will probably be the last one for now, and you never know, I might come back and do the rest later, but I don't think so. Yeah, I'm a little bit more into the interactive content, so I'm not feeling like doing watching all these sort of documentaries of how the game was made, but nice to have this here, and this is a thing that you can get for free when you get the game. So that's the director's commentary, and that's what we're going to look at. That's all the little episodes we're going to look at now. We've done 4, and I could do the remaining 5 sometime if I wanted, but I probably won't. All right, save video clip.